So, what are the signs that your baby is about to go through the 4 month change? So, you will have heard of it as the 4 month regression. Out there, it scares parents, but it's actually not that scary. It's actually a progression because what is happening is that your baby's sleep cycle is moving from 2 phases to 4 phases. And that's going to be what it will be for the rest of their lives. So it's the time that that change occurs. So essentially, they're moving from a newborn sleeper into a young infant sleeper. And over the years, as they get older, their cycle simply extends in duration, but the 4 stages remain the same. So how do you know if your baby is about to go through it or potentially going through it? Well, there are signs. So prior to the change, your baby generally has a bit of a rhythm with naps in that it looks like either 30-minute naps or a couple of hours. That's a pretty newborn style. It goes up to around 11 to 12 weeks. They have a great night's sleep as well. They generally do one night feed overnight. Now, that's a great sleeper. All newborns, and this will be controversial, are actually great sleepers. It's about embracing and giving them the opportunity to utilize the skills that they've had from the beginning, believe it or not. Now, there's always going to be a few outliers to that, and that's usually related to colicky babies, refluxy babies, or extra fussy bubs. So that's the classic newborn pattern that you would see. And when the change starts to happen, and I see it happen between 3 to 4 months for girls and 4 to 5 months for boys, the length of the naps change, and that's your clearest indicator that they're going through the change. So you'll tend to get 40 to 50-minute naps for the short naps, and you'll often still get longer naps, but they're more around the 60 to 90-minute mark rather than a few hours. You'll still get a few whoppers every once in a while, but generally, this is the initial pattern that you see where you know the change is happening and things start to kind of extend after that. So you don't get as many short naps, those 40 to 50-minute naps. You tend to get 2 naps a day that are over an hour and maybe one shorter one. The other indicator is that overnight, instead of having this kind of deep, big, long block of sleep, you'll notice there's a little bit more restlessness. So often around the 2-ish hour mark, there's some movement, and that's showing you that the cycle has begun to change because there is more lighter sleep once those 4 phases come into play. So that's why you notice that there's more stirrings overnight. And normally this is just initially. You don't notice it every night going forward. It's usually just while the change is happening. There's nothing for you to do if you've got a great sleeper. That one night feed is still going to be sufficient. You don't need to all of a sudden be doing more night feeds or attending to every stir that happens. You're just witnessing a change that is internally happening. Their requirements for sleep, they still need their 12 hours overnight. That night feed, most likely, not always. A lot of them will sleep through even from around 10 weeks of age. So that's just your other indicator of knowing what's going on with them. If you need any more assistance with this, or you feel like you're going through it, but there's a dependency on a prop, which is causing wakes overnight rather than those natural stirrings, or naps aren't extending. So you're just getting a run of short naps or still living in the 30-minute nap world. That is showing you that there's a prop, an external element in your baby's journey to sleep rather than them doing it naturally themselves. That's the time to reach out for some help. I hope you find this useful, and I hope you get through that 4 month progression swimmingly.